Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Talent Finders would like to welcome CEO and founder of Career Rising Up and author Lorraine Rise. So, welcome, Lorraine.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Lorraine, I'd firstly like to congratulate you on all your achievements. Can you share with us how your career and entrepreneurial journey started?
Yeah, so I founded Career Uprising in 2015. So it's been about 8 years now.
Wow.
And I think it was really just kind of born out of my own experiences in the workforce and just wanting a feeling of greater autonomy over my work and more
Yes.
more flexibility, more creativity. And this was at a time when remote work was not common.
No.
Now a lot of people work remote, right?
Yeah.
This was 8 years ago, it was not. So I really wanted a lot more flexibility in my schedule. I wanted to be able to be home and get my daughter off the bus because she was very young then. And I really couldn't do that in the working world. It was very clear to me
Yes.
that I had to be a butt in a seat at a certain time and far away. And it was just very restrictive to me. And that
Yeah.
didn't work for me. I
No.
didn't feel like I felt fit that mold. Right.
Yeah.
So it just became clear to me that if I was going to have the flexibility and the autonomy that I wanted in my career, I was going to have to create it. I probably wasn't going to
Yes.
find it.
Yeah.
So that was really the impetus for me starting a business in general. And then a career coaching business that came from what am I good at? What do I know? And I always have loved coaching and mentoring people in their careers. And that's something I did a lot of in my corporate career. I did a lot of training and a lot of hiring and promoting and developing people. So I just kind of found a way to do that, but for myself in
Well,
my
that's
own.
amazing. And it's the
Yeah.
best way. I mean, I know it's a lot of hard work, but at least you have your own control of your own time and what you're doing. So makes a
Yeah.
big difference.
Yes. Yes, it does. It does.
So, as the founder of Career Uprising, can you share with us more about this and what motivated or inspired you to start your own business? And what is it that you do for our audience members that perhaps don't know? If you could kind of elaborate, which would be
Mhm.
helpful.
Yeah, so Career Uprising is essentially a coaching firm that we help mid and late career professionals to
Yes.
make career changes or just job searching and getting better results. So they're not, out there spinning their wheels alone, searching for 9 months or a year for a job, and
Yes.
and losing all of that time. So we help either to, like I said, change careers altogether and figure out what you want to do. We have a lot of career assessments, we do coaching, and I have a whole team. It's not just me at this point. We've grown,
Yes.
so we've got, yeah, five of us, including me.
Amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a matter of figuring out what you want to do next, or if you know that, it's how do I get there? So, how do I interview better? How do I leverage LinkedIn? How do I find recruiters? All the job search stuff. We walk them through that, and then we also do resume writing because a lot of people hate writing their LinkedIn
Oh,
profile, their
yeah.
resume. Yeah, and they don't know how to do it, or so they recognize that they don't really do it that well. So we can come in there and offer writing support as
Oh,
well.
that's amazing because that's a very niche skill as well, and not something that a lot of people do or can do. So I think it's amazing.
Mhm.
So you've been in the coaching space, as you've mentioned, within various industries. So do you feel that this helped you and gave you an advantage in starting your own business? And if so, if you can elaborate on some examples.
hmm Yeah, I really am leveraging a lot of my own experience. I mean, I had to. This was my first time starting a business, so it's you just have to start with where you are and with what you know. So my
Yes.
prior career, I started out in kind of in health and wellness, I suppose you could say, working for Jenny Craig. So that was kind of a retail center with a health and wellness focus. So I got a lot of sales training. So I fell back on a lot of that sales training that I had would have been drilled into me for years.
Yes.
I needed it now because I'm doing all the sales and the client acquisition. So And then after that, I had moved on into more of the government contracting space and done recruiting there. So I'm leveraging a lot of that recruiting experience as well. So yes, everything I'm doing now is kind of a blend of everywhere I've been prior to this. And it really did set me up well, learning the customer service, learning sales, learning the coaching and the hiring and the recruiting. I'm putting it all together now for a career uprising. So it has been very useful. And now in coaching clients too, we're very industry agnostic. So that means we work
Yes.
with clients in almost every industry. It's more of a career level and an age that we specialize in, and kind of that mid or late career, 40, 50 plus. But we work with clients in all industries. And I feel like that gives us an advantage too, because we see the whole picture. When people want to
Yes.
change careers, we've worked with people who are in this field and in this field, and we don't just specialize in one. I think that that would be fine if we were just writing resumes for that one industry. But when we're helping people change from one field to another, us having that multi-industry experience is actually an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So what would you say some of your biggest lessons have been within your career? And maybe you've
Um,
had multiple, but like what
yeah.
really stands out for you?
There's a lot. I think the more I achieve, the more I realize that we can achieve. And I think this is going to might sound odd, but most people's goals are actually too small. And
Yes.
they just have a lot of fear and self-doubt, and that's
Mm.
making them think that it's unachievable. But if you're able to remove that, you see how realistic your goals are. So for example, one big bucket list item I just checked off is writing a book, which is I published my first book that's coming out
Amazing.
this year.
Yeah.
That is something I've wanted to do forever. And it felt big and it felt hard and it felt complicated. I didn't know how to do it. But once I got started, I realized I can do this. People write books every day. Every day there's a new book coming out on the market. I realize how normal my goals are. It's just that I haven't done them, but they're not impossible goals. And I think when you reframe it, you realize how achievable your goals really are when you can get out of your way. That's probably one of the biggest things that I've learned.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was going to say. Is I think most of the time we get in our own way and we create these stumbling blocks that
Yes.
we put there, not anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to talk about the coaching space as it is a very competitive space and it could be perceived to be oversaturated. What would you say makes your coaching style and techniques different? And can you give us any examples?
Yeah, I think so. So our specialization really is, like I said, is the mid and late career professional, and clients love that. I've had so
Yes.
many clients come to us and say, that is why I chose you, or your website resonated with me because I saw that you focus on that. People want to see themselves in the work that you do. So it helps them connect, and so that you feel like you understand their challenges. So that
Yes.
is definitely a specialization that we have, and that works really well for us. So and that was something that I just kind of discovered. I didn't set out to have that niche and that focus, but I just discovered that as I was getting into my business and realizing this is who is reaching out to me. So that's one thing that differentiates us. The other thing I would say is we take a very holistic approach when we're coaching clients. So what
Yeah.
that means is I view the work we do really as life coaching, which is much broader, but we tend to focus more on people's careers. But it's the whole person. You've got, whatever's happening in your career is often happening in your personal life or your
Yeah.
financial life. You're one person at the end of the day. And
Mm.
so we understand when we coach people, it's not just about, here's the nitty gritty job search advice. It's also about your confidence and your clarity and your focus and you as a person. So we kind of keep that in mind. It's not necessarily therapy, but it's more motivational coaching and interviewing people, understanding that there's emotions involved with this person. We have to speak that language as well as all of the basic job search stuff. If we really want to make a transformation, we have
Mm.
to help really motivate people on a deeper level. So that's the focus that we take.
Amazing. So the pandemic, which obviously turned most of or everyone's world upside down or inside out, can you share with us during and post pandemic how this changed you and how, through your own experience, were able to pivot? And what were some of the tools you used to help your clients during this time?
Yeah, we to even to my own surprise, career uprising thrived in the pandemic. We really did.
Amazing.
We did, to be honest, we had enrolled more people and did more financially than we had ever done before.
Wow, that's
I had to
amazing.
hire more people in the pandemic. I mean, we had the Great Resignation, at least here in the US. I don't know if in the
Yes.
UK and globally there was kind of the same thing going on, but
Yeah.
um, we we thrived during that time. And I think it would have been really easy to retreat and play it
Mm.
small and go, oh no, there's a pandemic. No one's going to be able to afford this. No one's going to want to do anything. Everyone's staying where they are. And I think it's a mindset
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the opposite happened. People were
Mm.
leaving their jobs in droves, and it was actually an opportunity for us to capitalize and help more people because they still
Mm.
had the need to change. And of course, then remote work made everybody want to change jobs too. So there was actually an opportunity hidden in that. And so that's something that we really came in and said, okay, as coaches, maybe this is when we need to do our best work and not play it
Yes.
small. We need to actually start enrolling more people because they need our help maybe more than ever. So that we kind of just tried to take an abundance mindset and say, this doesn't have to limit us. There's people out there struggling. Let's grow instead of retreating and playing small. I mean, we're all
Mm.
working remote anyway, so we can
Yes,
do our business safely. It's fine. So that's kind of how we were able to thrive in the pandemic, is just adopting that mindset and seeing it as an
absolutely.
opportunity. Yeah.
So, what would you say some of your biggest career highlights have been? And maybe you've had multiple, but is there any one particular highlight that really stands out for you?
To be honest, I think this year with my book coming out, that's one of the biggest achievements because that's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And that's a dream that I'm realizing. So on December 5th, my book is called What You Didn't Learn in School. And it's a collection
Love
of
it.
all of my teachings as a coach over the last 8 years. I decided I need to do something with this body of work. So that's a major achievement. But then, of course, just the fact that I've made it into entrepreneurship, because that is something I never
Yes,
saw that coming. I never set out to be one. I never planned that, but I realized it was going to be necessary for me to have the kind of career that I wanted to have. So achieving that at only 31 years old was pretty amazing. And now just continuing to enroll. We're at almost 500 clients now, and then
wow,
the book as well. So and we got even more plans for the future as well. But those are probably the biggest ones.
amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about leadership or the lack of leadership from both a business and global perspective. So, how do you think your leadership style is different, and what do you believe needs to change the current narrative?
Having a staff now with in career uprising, I'm in a leadership role, and I was a leader and a director in my previous career as well. I take the point of view of I want people to want to work for me. So I try to
Yes,
think
of
like an
course.
employee, and what would it be like to work for me? Who would I want to work for? What motivates me when I'm working for somebody else? And
Mm.
that's who I try to be. So I have my standards and in certain ways that I like things, but I also try to know when to give flexibility and when to step off the
Yeah.
gas a little bit and let people bring their own expertise. And I have my staff because they do bring their own specialties and their own experience, and I do want that. So I
Yes.
try not to be too rigid and let them kind of bring their creativity, their work style, but upholding the same kind of vision for career pricing that I have. So works really, really well. I've got a great team right now, and they all work remote from their homes, and they set their own schedules, but we get the work done. So
Done.
I'm also just
Yeah.
very intuition driven. So when I hire somebody, it's got to feel right. I make a decision based on intuition. Do I see myself working with this person? Do I feel like it's a good fit? So that's really how I hire and make decisions, and that's how kind of what I try to bring to my leadership style is a more heart-based, more intuition-based style. And I think that more of that would be necessary. Definitely, I'd love to see more in
Absolutely.
the corporate world.
Absolutely. So that leads me to, obviously you are now the host, or you have been the host of your own podcast. So can you share with the audience more about that? Like, do you have specific topics that you speak about, or is it multiple?
Yeah, so the show's called Career Pricing, the same as my company, and you can find it on anywhere, Spotify, Apple. It's right on my website, careeruprising.com. And yeah, so we talk about pretty much all things career, but even a little broader than that. So you could get anything from guidance to how to interview better, how to improve your confidence, how to find the right career path for yourself, how to get over imposter syndrome, how to make more money, anything really career related. I've got almost 150 episodes at this point, and I'm still
Wow,
making more
that's
episodes.
amazing.
Yeah. I put it out about twice a month. I can't quite get to the weekly schedule. That's a lot of content
Yes.
for me, but it's a lot. But I've been doing it since 2018, so 5 years now. So there's well over 100 episodes, and there's more coming out about every other Monday.
Fantastic. That's amazing. So you obviously brought up the fact that you've written a book and that was, a very big achievement. So can you tell us more about being an author or, was that an organic process for you or was that quite challenging? And if you can also kind of elaborate on what the book is about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this book really came about from me wanting to do something with this body of work that I had. I had all these podcast episodes and all my scripts and notes from all of those. And I had a coach of mine tell me, you need to do something with those. You need to make those chapters of a book and repurpose that content.
Amazing.
And I hadn't really considered too much, not seriously writing a book at that point, but that thought just stayed with me. And I said, I do have a big body of work. I want to do something
Yeah.
big with this.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of what inspired the book. Many of the chapters have been podcast episodes, but a lot of them I wrote uniquely for the book. So even if somebody has been a listener of the podcast, they're going to hear a lot of new lessons and teachings. But it's a collection of 30 lessons that I have learned throughout my career and for myself, and also client stories are in there also. But everything from improving your confidence, changing careers, advancing, getting promoted, all of those things are in there. And it even goes beyond that. I even talk about health. I talk about relationships. It's not limited to just careers. It's just about how to live your best life. So yeah, it's called What You Didn't Learn in School: Lessons on
Love
Growth,
it.
Change, and Living Your Best Life. Yeah, you can find out more about it. It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's on all the major retailers as well. You can also just go to careeruprising.com/book on my website, and then you can see numerous places where you can pre-order it. So it comes out December 5th, but you can pre-order right now.
Oh, incredible. Amazing. So, what is your ultimate vision for Career Uprising?
Growth, 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 of course, but I always want to think about what are new and different ways that we can reach different job seekers and career changers. So things that I'm looking at are group classes, because we do one-on-one coaching mostly right now. Also, I would love to get into making an online course, something really affordable where people can kind of do it yourself, because not everybody can afford coaching one-on-one.
No.
So I'd
Mm.
love to find some affordable resources or make them through online courses or group classes to reach even more people. So those are some things I'm thinking about for 2024. Once, the book is released. Right now I'm kind of focused on that, but yeah, I've got definitely some plans for the next year.
Amazing. So that leads me to the final question. What legacy would you like to leave, or how would you like to be remembered? Because some people don't like the word legacy. So, how would you like to be remembered?
What is it? I wonder why it sounds like you're dead already. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I really I think for me, especially I have a teenage daughter, I want to be a role model for her. I want to leave a legacy for her that she can do what she wants with her career. She doesn't have to
Yes.
fit the mold. She doesn't have to fit the 9 to 5. If she wants that, that's fine. But we don't all have to just go to college and get a job. I have a very non-traditional career path. It doesn't always make sense to other people. Like, what do you
Yes.
do? What's a career coach? And that's fine. I'm
Yes.
okay with that. So we don't
Yeah.
all have to just be the straight and narrow. You
No.
can carve your own path. You can work for yourself if you want to. I really want to be proof of what is possible. That if this is something you want to do, you can do it. But whatever your goals are,
Mm.
I really just feel like if I achieved mine at this and left the corporate world at 31, somebody else can do whatever their goals are as well. So
Exactly.
I'm just hoping to be proof of what is possible for people.
Amazing. Well, thanks for joining us today. So, if people would like to connect with you, what are the best platforms to do so?
I would say my website is careeruprising.com. And then LinkedIn is where I have the biggest social media presence and following. I am on Facebook as well. I have a company page there, but I would say just go to LinkedIn and look for my name, Lorraine Rise.
Yes.
I'm the only one there. If you just search Lorraine Rise, I haven't found another one of me. It should come right up. So I would say the website and LinkedIn are the best ways.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining today. And hopefully, we can have you back in the future to see where
Yeah.
you are in your journey.
Thank you. Thank you very much.